Now, although it's not mandatory to make any kind of jigs when you're building speaker boxes, doing so is going to make your life a lot easier. This is going to let you take your finished pieces out and put holes into them, test fit the actual components, and make sure everything is exactly the way that you want it to be. This is the easiest to do after you've already got your speaker components all cut out of the rough lumber, because we're going to just use that scrap wood to make our templates. To begin, I'll take and just lay down a couple of scraps in a rough formation of how my pieces are actually going to sit on top. In the case of this one, this is the front face plate, which I'm going to router the 4 different holes for the speaker drivers for the ZAF audio kit. Now my front face plate is already all measured and marked out, and it has the pilot holes drilled for the speaker drivers. So I'm just going to take some scraps and put 2 on either side and 1 on the top. To begin, just take and fasten a couple of screws onto one of the sides. And then what we're going to make sure we do here is push the speaker face component right flush up against that side, and then pick another side and do the same. Put it right up against the side of that speaker face plate. Fasten another couple of screws in. Now I only did 3 sides in this template here. That's all I needed to do. I didn't feel like the bottom was going to shuffle around or move at all. If you do think that your bottom plate is going to dance or move at all, throw another piece on the bottom side as well and screw those on. It's going to make removal a little bit tougher, so you might want to purposely kind of slide it off the back a little bit so you can get your fingers underneath there to pop it off. Before we start working on the piece, just kind of give it a test fit, make sure it's nice and snug. It should not be able to move in any direction once you've got it seated properly. After that point in time, if you are doing rotor holes like I am, I'm going to make sure that I drill those holes right out through both pieces of wood. And this just lets me replace and reface anything and really double check and make sure that everything is seated exactly where I want it to be, because a circle, just a hint off, you'll notice it right away. I used 2 different methods making the speakers. One was double-sided tape, one was screws. I urge you to just go with the screws. Just make sure that they're inside, well inside where your router is going to cut. Now after you've cut your first hole or cut your first orifice into your lumber, you can easily pop it out, and you can take whatever component is going to sit in there and give it a test fit to make sure that that part is working. This also lets you compare it kind of to your rough drawings or your measurement drawings to make sure that the openings are exactly the right size, and you can adjust accordingly. If the component doesn't fit, you can just put it right back into the template, adjust the tool that you're using, in this case a router, make the hole a little bit bigger, and try that test fit again to make sure that you've got exactly the right fit. You don't have to measure it out perfectly and get it on one try. As you can see, I took this piece out several times in between to fit the component before I even did that flush mount. Great, so now that we've got all of our pieces cut and we're ready to assemble, what kind of glue do I need? There's specifically 2 different kinds that I think you need for building speaker boxes to make sure you get airtight boxes. If you want to learn more about that, the video will be off to the side as soon as that one's done.